What if I told you you don't need to be a doctor or a tech billionaire or even make six figures to retire a millionaire? Yes. Even if you only make $50,000 a year in the United States, that's about the average salary for millions of Americans, you can still end up with $1 million retirement account. The secret? It's not about winning the lottery. It's not about risky stock picks. It's about discipline, smart investing, and the power of time. So today, I'm going to break down exactly how someone making $50K a year can retire with $1 million or more. And trust me, you'll realize that it's a lot more possible than you think. Let's start with the basics. $50,000 a year sounds like a decent income, but once taxes come in, the reality looks different. On average, after federal and state taxes, that $50K becomes about $42,000 take-home pay per year. That's about $3,500 per month. Now, out of that $3,500, the average American spends around $1, $200 on rent or mortgage, $600 on food and groceries, $400 on transportation, $200 on insurance, $200 on utilities. And of course, everything else like the internet, healthcare, entertainment, and personal expenses. So yes, it's not a massive income. But here's the truth. You don't need a huge salary to build wealth. What you need is discipline and consistency. Here's where the magic begins. Imagine you invest just $500 per month. That's roughly 15% of your $50K salary. If you invest $500 every month into something like an S/P 500 index fund, and it grows at an average of 10% per year, which is what the stock market has returned over the last century, then in 10 years you'll have around $95,000. 20 years around $330,000. 30 years over $1 million. That's the power of compound interest. Your money works harder than you do. You're not just saving, you're building wealth while you sleep. The first step is simple, but the hardest for most people. Spend less than you earn. If you make $50K and you spend $50K, you'll never get ahead. The goal is to save at least 15% of your income. If you can push to 20%, even better. That means living in a slightly smaller apartment, driving a used car instead of a new one, cutting unnecessary subscriptions, and avoiding lifestyle inflation. Remember, every dollar you don't waste is a dollar that can grow into $10 in the future. This is free money that most Americans don't fully use. If your employer offers a 401k match, that means for every dollar you invest, your company adds more. For example, if they match 5% of your salary and you make $50K, that's $500 of free money every year. That alone, invested for 30 years, could grow into nearly $250,000 extra. So before anything else, contribute enough to get the full match. It's the easiest wealth hack in America. The Roth IRA is the secret weapon of the middle class. Here's why. With a Roth IRA, you invest money you've already paid taxes on, and when you retire, your withdrawals are 100% tax-free. Imagine putting in $6,000 a year for 30 years. That's $180,000 of your own money. But with compounding, it grows into nearly $1 million. And the government can't tax a single penny when you take it out. That's how regular people retire rich. Forget stock picking. Forget trying to time the market. The smartest investors, like Warren Buffett, recommend index funds. For example, the S/P 500 ETF, VO, or SPY. It owns the top 500 U.S. companies. If the U.S. economy grows, you grow. Over the last century, this has returned around 10% annually. If you keep consistently investing, you don't need to be a genius. The system works for you. Here's the secret sauce. If you only invest $500/month, you'll hit $1 million in about 30 years. But if you can add even $500 more per month from side hustle, That's dog walking, freelancing, YouTube, tutoring, anything. Your retirement time cuts nearly in half. $1,000 invested per month can get you to millionaire status in just 25 years. That means if you start at age 25, you could retire a millionaire by 50. This is where most people fail. Every time they get a raise, they buy a bigger car, move into a more expensive house, or spend more on dining out. But the truth is, wealth is built quietly. You don't see it in flashy cars or luxury bags. You see it in your brokerage account, in your 401k, and in your financial freedom. So when your income goes up, instead of upgrading your lifestyle, upgrade your savings. Now here's the truth nobody likes to hear. Becoming a millionaire on $50K a year won't happen overnight. It takes patience. It takes consistency. It takes holding your investments through recessions, through crashes, through moments of doubt. But if you stick to the plan, live below your means, invest 15 to 20%, use tax advantage accounts, and let compounding do its job, you will get there. Let's compare. Back-end index pointing right if you invest $500/month for 30 years $1 million. Back-end index pointing right if you invest $1,000/month for 30 years $2.5 million. Back-end index pointing right if you invest $1,500/month for 30 years $3.7 million. So yes, it's possible. Not because of luck, but because of a simple formula: time plus discipline plus investing. So if you make $50,000 a year, don't ever believe you're too average to become wealthy.